Well, the Broncos, they're riding high, but can they keep it up?
Let's talk football.
All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the All Round Sports Podcast, where sports are everything on this channel. I'm your host, Antonio. Today, we are talking about the surprise of the last few weeks, the Denver Broncos, as they beat the Las Vegas Raiders 29-19, sweeping them for the first time in quite some time. Because the last few years, the Raiders had swept them with guys like Josh McDaniels. But man, the Broncos, they've been looking pretty good. Bo Nix has been coming into his own as a quarterback in the NFL. But the question is, are the Broncos a playoff dark horse? Now, I'm going to get into that here in just a second. But before we get started, if you guys do enjoy this video, please be sure to do me a favor and smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. For now, let's talk about the Broncos. Broncos. I would, now, if they were doing bad, I would call them the Donkeys. But I'm not calling them that right now because the Broncos, they have been looking dominant for the past few weeks. And they were just able to dominate their last few games. Of course, they did lose on a blocked field goal to Kansas City, which they would have won that if that field goal wasn't blocked. But if we look at the wins that they've had some pretty good wins. They beat the Saints a few weeks ago, and they also beat Carolina, which is not a big thing when you beat Carolina. Then you go out there and beat the Atlanta Falcons and the Las Vegas Raiders. But if we look at their next 5 games, it's a relatively easy path ahead. You've got the Browns this upcoming week on Monday night. Then you got the Colts at home. Then you go on the road to LA to take on the Chargers on Thursday night, which got flexed. Then you got the Cincinnati Bengals on the road. And then you finish it off with Kansas City back at your house. The Bo Nix, he's been looking pretty dang impressive. I mean, I can no longer ignore what he's doing. I think since he yelled in the face of Sean Payton, he's been performing a lot better. And one of those losses at the beginning part was to my Seattle Seahawks. But the Broncos, they are looking pretty good. Their offensive weapons are performing. You've got guys on there like Javonte Williams, Troy Franklin, Cortland Sutton. Then you also got Deuce Javon Valet, one of the rookies out of Utah. Then you also got Audric Estime that was amazing last week. And that brother, he's a young stud. He really is a young stud. He came from Notre Dame, and he's been a stud for this team. And then you also got guys on there like Greg Dulcich, and then also along with Marvin Mims. But their defense has been looking pretty good with the help of Patrick Surtain and former Seattle Seahawk Cody Barton. And they've been looking pretty dang impressive. I mean, they almost beat Kansas City, for crying out loud. They almost beat them. And just looking at this team, they could be a dark horse. Because if we look at some of the teams in the playoffs right now, the Texans, they've been struggling with their offensive line. The Broncos could possibly beat the Texans. Then also you got the Chiefs that you can maybe beat in the playoffs. I'm not entirely taking that into account. But then you got the Steelers that have been kind of up and down. They did beat you, but that was before Bo Nix yelled in the face of Sean Payton. I think he would do really good against the Steelers defense, just the way the Steelers have been looking recently. And then also the Buffalo Bills, which I don't think anybody's going to beat Buffalo this year. But the Broncos, I'm going to say this. Watch out for this team because if they make the playoffs, which is a very high possibility, then they could possibly be a threat in the AFC and maybe at least win a playoff game. But we'll see because the Broncos, they are one of those young teams. I would like to see Bo Nix in a playoff game just in his first season as a quarterback in the NFL. But if this guy performs at the way he's been performing for the last few weeks and beats Kansas City in the season finale, watch out for this team because the Broncos, they're riding on the back of Bo Nix. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you guys think the Broncos are a dark horse team? Let me know why or why not down in the comment section below. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to do me a favor and smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, I'll see you all in the next one. Ciao for now.